so tonight...
I have 40 women in the house.
Wow.
We're going to discuss an interesting shaila, which comes up a few times a year. When we have a Bris Mila on Yom Kippur, what are we supposed to do with the Kos Shel Beracha of the Bris Mila? Who's going to drink it? Or maybe we shouldn't have a Kos Shel Beracha at all.
If it's a bris on
Yom Kippur. Or on Tisha B'Av for that sake, or any of the other Tanaisim.
Yeah.
I had the son in Tisha B'Av, Brit.
The Bris on Tisha B'Av?
Yeah.
Okay,
So I don't think they drank it, but we made the Seudah at night in the house. I don't think they drank the wine. I don't remember. It was a long time ago.
Oh, so we have to. I had a brother-in-law who also made a Bris Tisha B'Av, so it's a Shiloh, so Shiloh Yom Kippur. And the issues that are brought up here are not only pertain to specifically Bris Mila, we're going to see these other Shilas that come up. Let's take a look. There's a Gemara in Eruvin, Daf Mem Amud Beis. Yom HaKippurim Heicha Ovid. Shaila is we say Shechiyanu on Yom Kippur. Should we not be saying this on a Kos Shel Beracha, the Bircha Shechiyanu? So Mara asks, Yom Kippurim Heicha Ovid, how should we, what should be our minig on Yom Kippur? What should we do? Imevarech alei v'shasilei. If he's going to make a bracha on it and drink it, even man, since once someone said Shechiyanu, even if it's before Shkia, Kiblu alei v'asalei, you accept it upon yourself Yom Kippur, it's asur. It's like a form of Toisus Yom Tif. So I said Shechiyanu v'kiyamanu v'giyanu lizman hazeh, even though it's before Shkia, but you accepted Yom Tif upon yourself, Mekabel Yom Tif, so you can't drink anymore.
Where does it say this happens out of Yom Kippur?
Yom HaKippurim Heicha Ovid.
You said this is Erev Yom Kippur.
Well, it doesn't say clearly, but that's the var, because otherwise, he wouldn't need to. He wouldn't be able to drink anyways because Yom Kippur. The
what is more of a suffix the rice of Bracha Vatala than eating before Yom Kippur? Even if he wasn't Kabbalah early, but if those are there, it's a suffix the rice. Some say it's a Bracha Vatala.
Don't make maybe a Brai Piragaf and just make a Shechiyanu on it.
Drink Pacham. No, but you already made. Oh, we're talking about you already made the bracha on the drink.
We don't know what to do. A Shechiyanu should l'chora be on a Kos.
Let him just take a tima.
Usually we say the Shechiyanu on a Kos. We put it together with Kiddush. We say it on a Kos. There's no Kiddush, so what should we do with Shechiyanu? We don't have a Kos. So one oifen is, you know what? Say the Shechiyanu right before Shkia. So and say it on a Kos and drink. By Shechiyanu, by Piragaf and drink.
This is what is this? What's going on?
No. Shechiyanu. Every Yom you have to say a Shechiyanu.
Quick question.
It's that 1 minute. Every
what do you have to do with? Why do you have to do with yayin?
Yeah. And Purim, you say about a Megillah, and it's for all the mitzvot hayom, right? There's no kos yayin.
Right, exactly.
That's my quick question.
That's a great question.
Okay, I'm just going to check.
Talking about Yom Kippur now.
This is different. It's different. It's a good question you're asking, but it's different because the Shechiyanu on Megillah is really mainly on the Megillah. It's not on the Yom. It's mainly on the mitzvah Megillah.
But it's on the other mitzvahs. We say
we include it. We're not mechaven to the Yom Tif. We're only mechaven the mitzvahs.
Well, there is no
the Shechiyanu on Yom Tif.
There's no Yom Tif because it's not the similar.
So you have a Shechiyanu when you take a little bit of esvig. The Shechiyanu, which we say on the Yom Tif, is supposed to be on a Kos. It's a good point, but we see that's the halacha. That the Shechiyanu we say it on the Kiddush.
But when we're saying it, we're not saying.
We don't say Kiddush.
On B'nisa Masnafsha Seichem, on the mitzvahs Hayom of Yom Kippur. We're saying
it on the Yom Tif, like we say it. We don't only say a Shechiyanu, Lamashal, when we take the Lulav and Esther, we say Shechiyanu.
Okay.
But the night before, we already said Shechiyanu on Sukkot. We say Shechiyanu Rosh Hashanah on the day of Rosh Hashanah. On the Yom Tov itself.
And the ladies say the Shechiyanu.
There's two in Yom. We're saying Shechiyanu on Yom Tov, right? We say Shechiyanu on the Yom Tov and Shechiyanu on a mitzvah that comes from Zman Lazman. The one the Shechiyanu on the mitzvah, it's on the mitzvah. The Shechianu the Yom Tov has to be in a kois, and that's why we usually say it on Kiddush.
I mean, obviously
Kippur,
it's a question because it's in the Gemara. So
Yeah,
I can't
So the
argue
Maisa, an
on
option of saying it before Shkia,
Okay.
we don't have, because as soon as you say the Shechianu, it becomes Yom Tov for you. The Ha'amalei b'yimiyah bar Abba l'Rav mi badalto. The B'yimiyah bar Abba told Rav that you, as soon as you makabel Yom, when you daven before Yom Tif, when you daven earlier, you stop doing malacha. Amalei im bedilma, sure, I stop doing malacha. I'm avdil. I separate myself from everything. Because once you makabel yourself to Yom Tif, makabel Yom Tif, saying Shechianu is a form of kabbalas Yom Tif. So there's another option. Livruch alei v'lanchei. Maybe make a brach on it, make Shechianu on it, and leave it on the table.
Don't drink it.
Don't drink it.
Like Ashkenaz does it, Kiddush on, and they give it to a little house, and they give it to a cotton.
So we're going to talk about that soon. It's very good to bring up. We're going to talk about that. So the Gemara at Mavarich Tzarich Sheyitim, the halacha is, the Mishnah says, HaMavarich, the one who makes a bracha, Tzarich Sheyitim. He needs to drink from the kois. Says the Gemara, Lei Svei Linuk, a third option. Let's give it to a child. Says the Gemara, Lei Hilchas Rav Acha. The halach is not like Rav Acha that you're allowed to give to child. Why Dilma Asi v'Misrach? Because maybe the child will come accustomed. You're going to show a child you're allowed to drink in Yom Kippur, so he'll think when he's bar mitzvah he can also drink. Really, the child is eating anyways, right? The child's eating on Yom Kippur anyways.
But you try and let him pass as long as possible.
But
You want to teach him.
At least usually they go through the night.
Depends
wait. First of all,
there 6-year-olds they keep giving.
before I should explain over here, we're talking about a child which he is Higia l'chinuch brachas. He knows how to make a bracha. He understands the concept of making bracha, but he's not yet the age where we're practicing fasting with him. So he's allowed to eat. However, even though he's allowed to eat, when an adult goes out and gives him to drink, and says, "Here, go and drink," to such a child, Dilma also the misrach. Maybe the child think every year I drank the cup on Yom Kippur, right? It's okay to drink on Yom Kippur, or the Kos Shel Beracha. So there's a halacha Dilma also the misrach.
Misrach means literally what?
To get used to become ragil. Become stuck to it. Become more stuck to it.
Make a geffen on the bracha acharona of Mila. That's not found in the Talmud.
Al hagefen?
Yeah.
Well, if you drink Revius, you have to make al hagefen.
No, but in the Talmud, there's no such thing as a bracha al hayayin.
Oh.
On that thing of that special bracha after Mila. It's just a minig that came about.
I'm not sure what you're referring to. Al hagefen? Bari Paragafen?
No, there's that bracha you make. After Kideshi did me
that's not found in Shas?
No, After Kideshi did me beten is, but not the bracha of Ayayin beforehand.
Bari Paragafen?
Yeah. Who says you have to make that bracha after Kideshi did me beten ala kos? It's not found in the Talmud. It's just a minute that came about.
This seems very clear from what Rishai. I didn't look it up, but it's clear that you have to make a very Paragafen.
I'm sorry, I'm not clear here. What exactly is going on?
Let's go. Let's stop for a second. Every Yom Tif, there's a chiyuv to make a shechianu. A new Yom Tif comes, make a shechianu.
Right.
The chiyuv is to make. You also have a chiyuv to make that shechianu on a Kos Shel Beracha. The way how we usually do it is we do it on the Kiddush. So the question comes, what should we do in Yom Kippur? What should we do about Yom Kippur? So you have three options. The Gemara says one option is before Shkia comes, you'll say Shechianu and drink it. The Gemara says the problem, as soon as you say Shechianu, you're accepting upon yourself Yom Tov, you automatically now drink anymore.
Yeah.
A second option is, let me make the bracha, Bari Priyagafen on it, and Shechianu, and just leave the cup. Just leave it. On Yom Kippur, just leave it. So the Gemara says, the one who makes the bracha, someone needs to drink from it. It's going to be like a bracha vatala. So the Gemara gives a third option. Maybe leis veli yenuka. The final option is give it to a child, and this is the main option that we want to discuss tonight. The option, give it to a child. So the Gemara says, "Leishilchas Grachad Aloch is not like Ravacha. One's not allowed to give it to the child. Dilma Osi v'Misach. There is a concern that the child will think if it's grown-ups give me this on Yom Kippur, thinks it's mutter to do this. He gets old, he becomes bar mitzvah. A few years later, it's okay to take a drink. It's fine. Grown-ups gave me this. I remember when I was younger in shul, we took drinks.
Can I suggest a fourth option? Why don't we? Normally we do Yak Nahas, Yayin Kiddush Nerev, though, right? Why don't we just say Borei Pergofen like we normally would, but drink and then do that Shechion? Normally we drink after the Shechion.
Because then it's not going to be a la kais. Then the kais is gone.
It's on the kais. No, you just take a sip. You do Ormali Lugmov, and then you make Shechion.
And then the Shia is koidim the...
Yeah. Why is that so terrible?
That's similar to just...
It's an interesting day, no?
Yeah, but once you have the Shia koidim, it's like you just drink a cup of wine.
Okay, but
There's no connection to the kais.
But you're still making an ala kais.
So, okay, so this is one Gemara. This Gemara in Erevit. This is one, there's two Gemaras in Shas to discuss the concept of a child, of a grown-up, giving something which is usher to a child, doing something usher to a child, and the child, we should refrain from doing it because the child will grow older and feel that it's okay to do this. That's called the Shash of Asi Lemisrach. He will come to become accustomed that this is okay. This is one place, the Gemara in Erevit. The second Gemara in Shabbos, Kuflamates.
What do we do today, Agav?
We'll talk. Let's wait till we get to Yeah, we gotta wait till we build up. Shabbos, what do we do in Yom Kippur? We just say Shechianu without any place.
That's what we do today.
Beginning of Ne'ilah, right after we say Al Das Hamokim, we do Atar Sadar, Kol Nidrei, we say the Shechianu all together. Now, we don't do Kos. That's because of this Gemara, because the Gemara has no other option. There's no option what to do, so we say it without a Kos. Now, there's a Gemara in Shabbos, a whole different Gemara, about a different topic, but the ending, the Gemara also concludes regarding a different situation, a story of Kilayim, that it's also a shayla to tell a katan to do something because of a shash of Osi the Mitzvah. The katan will think it's okay when he becomes a mitzvah to do. The Gemara says like this: Shol Chulevei Bashchar Levi. The people of the town of Bashchar was a town of simple people. They didn't know halacha, and they sent a few shaylas to Levi. One was kilamal. What is the halacha of setting up a kilo on Shabbos? Kisusa bekarma, planting a certain type of vegetable in a vineyard. Is this considered kilayim or not? Mace beyond. What do we do with a mace on the second day Yom Tov? What's the halacha? 3 shaylas. At the Ozil, when the shluchim went and arrived to Levi, Nachashi the Levi was already nifter. Amar Shmuel Manasya, Rav Shmuel to Manasya, Ichakimis. If you're a chacham, shlach lahu, go answer them back. Answer that Levi's not here to answer, so you answer. Respond back to the Bnei Bashchar and tell them what to do in these 3 situations.
What are they again? Kilo? What's kilo?
Kilo is a certain type of thing which you put over the bed, like drapings you put over the bed. Is this considered an oil or not on Shabbos?
Food?
An oil, like making like.
Kilo is food?
No, kilo is like you put
curtain.
Yeah, you hang a curtain over the bed like people have.
It can be.
Yeah.
No,
setting it up on Shabbos. Kisusa bekarma means a certain type of a plant. Is this considered a kilayim with planting in a vineyard? A mace beyond. How do we deal with a mace on the second day Yom Tov? All these 3 shilas. So Levi was nifter by the time they arrived. Shmuel said to Manasya, Ichakim was the second line, the middle line. Shalachlu sent them the answer. Shalachu Shmuel sent to him. Regarding the kilo, Chazarno, Kolsi the kilo, we looked all around. We don't see any heter to put it up on Shabbos. I didn't look up the Gemara earlier, but the Gemara earlier mentions that Rabbi Bar Cheskel had an oifen how you could do it. So send them that oifen how Rabbi Bar Cheskel said. Answer Shmuel if you're b'nei Torah. The people of Bnei Vashel are not b'nei Torah. You're going to start telling them this way you could do it. They don't know the differences. They'll start doing it the Asidik way. So therefore, he just said it's Asid to do it. Finished. Kisusa bekarma. Now from now on is the main part of the Gemara that we're interested in. Kisusa bekarma. What did he send them back about planting this plant in a vineyard, in a kerem? Irbuva, he told them back one word, Irbuva, this is considered a mixture, it's considered kilayim. It's also to do it. Says the Gemara, why did Shmuel send to Bnei Bashchar a message that it's mutter like Reb Tarfon? Why? The Tanya, we learned in a Braisa, Kishus, this type of plant, Reb Tarfon held ein kilayim b'kerem. It's not considered kilayim b'kerem. Chachamim say kilayim b'kerem. It is kilayim. Who's the halacha like? Chachamim, they're the majority. However, says the Gemara, the Kaimel we hold, Kol HaMeikavar, it's anyone who has the lenient opinion in Eretz Yisrael. Even though Eretz Yisrael we don't follow the halacha like him, but halacha kamaisi b'chutzarts. Chutzarts is only d'Rabbanan. So we'll pass him like the lenient opinion in chutzarts. So kilayim in the kerem, in the chutzlards, we should follow Reb Tarfon, who's the lenient opinion in Eretz Yisrael. In Eretz Yisrael, you're not allowed to follow Reb Tarfon. We should follow. So why didn't Shmuel tell them that Reb Tarfon holds that kisusa bekam is not a kilayim? The same answer, v'she'ein of b'nei Torah. People b'nei Basha were not b'nei Torah, and therefore he didn't want to start telling them this is mutter. If they think this is mutter, this is not kilayim, they're going to come to learn that other things are also not kilayim. So therefore he didn't want to be mattered for them. Machris Rav announced, Hi man the boy in the Mizrach Kisusa B'Karmel Lizard. Based on Tarfon, he went and announced it's okay. Whoever wants to plant Kisusa in a vineyard, it's okay, do it. Go on and do it. If Amram Chasida, of Amram the Chassid, Mangidiluya. He was very upset at this. The Gemara concludes, these two lines are the main lines. Because of this issue, that when places where there are people that are not b'nei Torah, one should not be mattered to plant this type of plant in a vineyard because the people there can assume that this is mutter, other things are mutter. So Misharashi, he wanted to plant this plant in his neighborhood, and they also weren't b'nei Torah in his area. Yoav le'pruta l'tinik, he gave a pruta, a nickel to a tinik, to a child, goy, a goyish child, Zarah to plant it for him. Says the Gemara, why did he have to use a Goyish child? Give it to a Yiddish child. A Yiddish child is not bar mitzvah. And says the Gemara, Asi v'misrach. There's a problem of Asi v'misrach. The child will think, if I can do this now, I'll do it when I'm older. So we have two Gemaras, the Gemara in Erevin, regarding Shechiyanu. Says we cannot give a cotton to drink from it, because also the Mitzvah, he will think it's okay. Grown-ups gave me to drink in Yom Kippur, it's okay to drink in Yom Kippur, at least wine. And another Gemara in Shabbos, where we're not allowed to have the child do of something which is similar to kilayim, because he'll start feeling he can do it. So Mashashi gave it to a Goyish child. Now that we have this problem of chash, of Asi the Misrach, we can discuss now the Bris in Yom Kippur. But one has a Bris Mila on Yom Kippur. We have a kois that we make on the Bris Mila, and we say a Bar Piragafa on it. Who should drink it? So, if we give it to the child, is there a shash of Asi the Misrach that he will feel it's okay to drink in Yom Kippur or not? Comes along Toisus right over here on this Gemara and Shabbos and says no. Having a Bris in Yom Kippur is different than these cases. Oymer Rabbeinu Tam, the bottom of the first page, Rabbeinu Tam says, "Shemuter litim latinik lishtis Kos Shel Beracha." You're allowed to give a child to drink from the Kos Shel Beracha ki mikla mila b'Yom Kippur. We have a mila on Yom Kippur. We're not to be concerned with the chash of Chazal that also the Misach he'll think that it's okay to do it when he's older. Why? It's not a minig what we do. You cannot compare this to the Kos Yom Kippur, where the Gemara and Erev in the first Gemara you mentioned asers to give it to the child. Do you have a yavel? If you would give it to the child, also the Mizrach, he will come to do it even when he's an adult. Since every single year you give the children to drink, the children will think it's okay to drink this cup when they're bar mitzvah. However, a bris in Yom Kippur, so the Bein Tam, it's not a common thing. It happens sometimes. There is, sometimes there's not. It's a random thing. It's not always not a minig. So there's no reason to suspect that a child will come. He'll understand. It's just a temporary thing. It's a milsad like kavua. It's not kavua. There's no concern. Very important taisus. So the chash of, he clarified something we didn't know on our own. The Gemara itself just told us the chash of also the Misrach. Child doing something, an isser, if a grown-up gives a child doing isser as a youngster, he can grow up to think he can do it as an adult. However, Tais explains it's only a chash when it's something which is kavu every year.
So why don't give
What do you mean?
already?
That was the original question in the top, in the Erevin. That was the original question. Should we make the Shechi and make a Berei Pirkafin?
You can't, because of also the mitzvah.
Right, so what are you saying?
So the Tam says, but if you have that was when it gave Shechiyonu.
Which is every year.
Every
But if
year.
you only have
A Bris Mila Yom Kippur happens sometimes, it happens sometimes, it doesn't happen. It's not a kavua thing.
Right, so he'll never
So if we
think
give to a child 1 year, he's not going to start thinking. No chash. That's Toys of the sheep.
My question is, if it's no chashash, give it already to the Avi Haben or the Moel or the Sandak. If it's no chashash, they do it. Why you have to give it to a child? Make it already more.
Give
it to who?
who?
They have Yom Kippur. It's also to drink in Yom Kippur.
I know, but you make the chashash for the kid. He will say every year I can drink because it's a kiddush, right? You give it to him. If he can drink it and not think that it's regular thing that he drink all the time,
But it's still also in HaTorah. An adult is also a step earlier.
I know that.
Child has no ism in HaTorah to eat. He can eat and drink all he wants. It's the grown-up.
I know that, but the breed.
What happened?
I had a kapara before Rosh Hashanah.
Malchus.
Okay, thank you.
I thought you do kula.
What do you ask?
My asking is, it's a special thing, the breed. It's breed with HaKadosh Baruch Hu with us. It's very special for the Sandak, for the Moel, for the... One of these three, I think, better than to give it to a kid to drink. It's one of these three, even though it's Yom Kippur.
We can't. We have no koyach. Chazal, no, we can't no koyach to say Torah says you're not allowed to eat. We can't tell you can eat and drink. It's awesome. Now, the Rashba disagrees with one of the foremost Rishonim. The Rashba on the Maseches Erevin, on the first Gemara about Shechiyanu, disagrees with Toises. By this Toises, I just quoted it from the Gemara in Shabbos. Toises in both places, in both Gemaras about us the Mizrach, Toises says the same thing. Both in Erevin and both in Shabbos, Toises says, on a Bris Mila and Yom Kippur is not a problem. However, Toises, the Rashba is a problem. And we'll see the Rashba on the second page. Before we look at it inside, I want to just say it outside. Remember the second Gemara that said Osi v'Misrach? What was the second Gemara about? The second Gemara was about when Mesharshi wanted to plant this plant kisusa in the ground, in a vineyard, in a keren. It was a shaila of kilayim, a shaila of a possible chash of kilayim. So what did he do? He gave it to a Goyish child to plant. The Gemara asks, why did he give it to a Yiddish child? The Gemara says the Yiddish child is going to come to think it's okay to do this. The Rashba says, I don't understand Tosfos. I don't like Tosfos. Tosfos is saying it's okay by Bris and Kippur to do this. That would make sense just looking at the Gemara in Erevin about Shechiyanu. But looking at the second Gemara, the Gemara in Shabbos that mentions the Chash of Asi v'Misrach, is they're planting in a vineyard. Planting in a vineyard is something that he does all the time. Happens to be, he's planting his plant, this kisusa in the vineyard. So we see from this Gemara that the Gemara still is concerned that if you allow him to plant the child, Yiddish child to plant it, he's going to think it's okay to do this when he's older, even though it's not something which happens every year. Every year, Meshashi was planting this plant. That year, he wanted to.
He shouldn't have started to begin with. Why did this Gemara bring it down at all?
No, he's planting. He's not. First of all, it's not.
It's a shiloh that it's flying.
No, it's not awesome in Torah. The emes is not awesome in Torah. It's not even awesome in the Rabbanan. That's the emes. The emes is that the only Isser was over here was really because it was a place of Maratzin, and the Chacham were not matter in a place of Maratzin to do something which is similar to Kilayim. But Lapoya was considered an Isser, so therefore he didn't want to do it himself. But if you gave it to the Goyish child to do it for you, the guy did it for me. The Goyish child did it for me. However, why can he give it to Yiddish child?
It doesn't make sense in the story.
It's a guy doing it.
Identifying a place that place is a place of Amaratzim, and that's good to document. Please.
It didn't call it Maratz, it's Ein B'nai Torah. But the Meissen Gemara is a famous place, B'nai Bashchar. They were not B'nai Torah, and therefore very Chazal were concerned. a person has to know. You come to a certain place, people mamish don't know anything. You're in a base Chabad, you're somewhere. Sometimes you tell someone you're allowed to do this in Shabbos, right? Well, the person might, okay, he hears you're allowed to do that, but he might think, if I could do that, I could also do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, A, B, C, and D. You got to know. You got to be careful.
Yeah, that's a better example.
So.
The Gemara has with the milk, but they were geyser on the udder that you can't eat the udder
with milk.
It's really mutter, but because those people they didn't know about milchiks and flight, they were
right. Now the Rashba said like this. I don't understand. Toises.
Mila, the people in there are in terror. How about their kids? We're saying their kids are also not.
Listen, that was a story in that place. You have a lot of cities in the United States. There's not too many from people there, right? So you can have such places, right? Have them all over. Places where people not b'nei Torah. Over here was a situation where they didn't want to keep on Torah mitzvahs. If they're not b'nei Torah, they didn't know the reasons behind things, and they weren't big shemayim. So therefore, you had to be careful what you matter. So the Maisa, the Rashba says, I don't understand Toises. How could you have been a Tam be matir on a Bris Mila in Yom Kippur to give it? The Gemara in Kisusa was not something kavua. It wasn't something set every year. There's no minig to plant every year. And Mishashi that year wanted to plant.
That's a classical.
And it's still in all, Chazal say, you're not allowed to give it to he didn't give it to the Yiddish child because he was worried the Yiddish child would grow older and think it's okay. Means the Chazal were choishish the concern of Asi the Misrach every year. Even if it's not something every year. Even if it's random, they don't want you doing Isurim with Tinoikis. Don't give children Isurim to do. Nothing to do whether it's Kavua or not Kavua. Kisusa was not Kavua. Mela, the Gemara in Erevin, okay, so Taisa said, look in the Gemara in Erevin, Shechiyano, it's every single year. So the child's going to think it's okay to do it. But if it's not something every year like a Bris Mila and Kippur, it'll be okay. The Rashba said he didn't look at the second Gemara. The second Gemara in Shabbos, where it mentions the chash of Asi the Misrach, there was not something set up every year. And still no Chazal were concerned.
That was a different Gezerah. That was the Gezerah because they were Amoratzim. So you can't be doing
that's why the Meshashi didn't want to do it himself. But Lamaisa, how was a Meshashi matter to do it? He went and gave a penny to a Goyish child to do it. So the Gemara says, why did he do it with the Goyish child? Take a Yiddish child. He's not bar mitzvah. So the Gemara, the Yiddish child, is going to think he could do it when he's older. So we see from the fact that the Gemara is concerned, Meshashi was concerned that he might get older and do it again. And we see that the concern of that a child might learn to do something is not something that happens every year necessarily. If a grown-up goes and gives a child something to do something which is considered usher, that's a problem.
No, but if it wouldn't have been a Makam Amoratzim, they would have allowed the child to do it. It's only because it was a Makam Amoratzim.
They would have allowed an adult.
You can't be done it this. Where there wasn't a Makam Amoratzim. Rabbeinu Tam was doing there was looking at Makam Amoratzim. Maybe Rabbeinu Tam would
No. The Gemara clearly says anybody Torah. It's the Gemara says he can't.
Right. I'm saying so, but Rabbeinu Tam allowed the Chidik to do it because it wasn't a double rugged.
No, the Gemara says that the Shashi used the Goyish Tinnik and he didn't use a Yiddish one because the Yiddish one will come to do it when he's older. So
wasn't that a Makam where they weren't b'nei Torah?
Right.
So because he doesn't have a chinuch. The Yiddish child doesn't get a chinuch in that town. But if you would be in a town, one second. But if you would be in a town where there was chinuch, then it wouldn't be the same thing. Okay.
That's a good catch.
Oh, then if there wouldn't be the power of Amaratzim, then adults could.
Adults could do them themselves.
Right.
It's not a real isser.
Right.
It's not a real isser. But the poil mamish, it's Chazal aser it. Look, in that city, you're not allowed to do it. It's not a real isser, essential isser, but it's an isser Chazal aser in that place. So Meshashi found a way around it, the isser. Go do a guy to do it. A guy is a child, not an adult, by the way. An adult, you're not allowed to do it because the guy is doing it for you. But the child, it's okay if the child did it, but he didn't want to allow a Yiddish child to do it. So we see even things which are not kavua every year, we also the shash. This is the rash. Therefore, the rash does not want to be matir the child to drink from a kois on Yom Kippur. So what should he do? He brings from the Goinim, the Rashba will look inside. The Goinim say, don't bring any kois to the Bris Mila. Don't bring any wine to the Bris Mila. Bring a hadas. Take some hadas and make a bracha on a hadas. But don't bring a kois there. Let's look inside. Also, the Misrach, says the Rashba, Kiloimer, the Gemara means to say, second page, when he will grow older, Yivarech, this is on the Gemara in Erevin by Shechiyanu. Yivarach Zman, the child will think you can make Shechiyanu ala kois. I did this all the years. I made Shechiyanu ala kois and he drank it. V'yishta. Hula yada, he won't know. The shtakid last year, Shenelson, the children, the adults gave him to drink. Mishul the katana, he was a child. But now that he's an adult, it's different. Now, you have to know, so the Rashba, first of all, this Gemara, that we're choishish, that a child will come to become accustomed and think it's okay, is only when the adults feed the child. But when a child is on his own eating and drinking, there's no problem in Kippur for the child to eat, right? Fifth line. When we feed him, drink him, not because he needs to eat or drink, he's not hungry right now, he doesn't need to drink wine, but we're giving him to drink the wine for our purposes. Not for his purpose. But was for his purpose. We're not going to be concerned that when he becomes bar mitzvah, we'll think it's okay to eat, because you're allowed to feed a katan.
Right, because that's the whole idea of a katan.
Right? You're allowed to feed him with your hands in Yom Kippur. I already wrote this in my Chedushim and Yevamis and Perek Cheresh. B'shmait in the sugi of cotton oichel levelos ein bezim sufel afresh. Now the Rasha brings Toisvis. Because what Toisvis writes over here. Techich hashin when we have this concern of also the Mizrach, the lav l'meimer zman akasa, we shouldn't say hashachiyanu zman. Akasa nakam, we shouldn't do also the Mizrach. And a daf bizman Yom Kippur in the Misamach Shaita v'Shaita. It's only by Shechiyanu Yom Kippur, which happens every year. I will heiche the Bris Mila b'Tisha of Yom Kippur. You have a Bris Mila on Tisha of Yom Kippur. Kiyam the Milsal Ishchichahi. It's not a common thing. Lo yichayshina. There should be no concern. We make a bracha very priagaf on the cup. And we give the child to drink. That's Toisvis.
And here's the big concept.
Says this doesn't make sense to me. It's not clear to me. But because of the Gemara and Shabbos, the Kisus of the second Gemara we learned, by planting that Kisus in the vineyard, Nami Chashashulachi. We see over there Chazal, we're also concerned with the concern of Asim and Misrach, and there it's not Kavu every year. Kedamina Hasam that we say that Hishaya, different Gemara. We have a Mishar Shia. The Rashba had a gears of Hishaya. Hishaya, Yoy Prota gave a Prota Latinic Akum to Goyish child. Mazarli he planted for him Kisusa Bekarma. I mean, the Gemara asks, so why didn't he give it to a Yiddish child? The Gemara answers, Dilma also the Misa. So we see have a clear Gemara. He asks on Toisvis that the concern for also the Misa is not dafka every year. Anytime a grown up gives a child to do an Isser, for our purposes, is a concern. Big kasha. And he finishes off at Ga'oinim Zechayim V'racha Amru the Eimavarachim, the Ga'oinim which come before the Rishonim, they write that you should not bechlal make a bracha a kasa on the on a cup on the Mila on Tisha B'av and Yom Kippur. And my sin also you bring a hadas, you make a bracha in it, v'shaper dami, and it's good. That's the Chedush Arash. We have Machloikis, Rashba, and Toisus. Halacha l'mais.
We don't pass like either of them.
Who do we pass like?
Neither of them.
We're going to see.
We don't only have to say Shechiyan, we don't have anything else.
Oh, no. Shechiyan is no question about it. The Gemara says you can't. But the child Bris. Tois is saying Bris in Kippur and Tisha B'av, you could give a child. Because it's not Kavu every year. So the child won't come to think it's okay. Tois brings up a new scenario that's not mentioned in the Gemara. Bris in Kippur. And he says it's not compared to Shechiyan. It's okay. Rashba says, Shkoyach, it's not compared to Shechiyan. I agree with you. But it's compared to the Kisus of a Karma, which wasn't Kavu every year, it still was Aser.
Why can't we say that it's like a fake that like you're going to give it to it? If you make it, why do we want to make it on a kais? Because it's more mechuber than today, right? That's why we have a kais.
Yeah, in different things. Yeah,
right. So it's a cover to the Eibush to have the kais, right? But over here, Yom Kippur, you can't drink the kais. So we say give it to a tina, but maybe you can't give it to things because it become roga. And there's a whole smachleikus. But why bring yourself to the suffix? It's not like an adult is going to drink it anyway. So you're already removed from the normal mitzvah that Chazal made. The mitzvah Chazal made was that the person that's making the bracha on the geffen is drinking the geffen. Nor was today's Yom Kippur. So adult can't drink it. So what are you accomplishing by giving it to the katan? Anyway, it's a shinoi from the original takana.
Okay, but a katan shegiel lechinuch, it's different. The bracha is not a bracha latal. I'll tell you what it is. What's the problem?
He's making a bracha on a thing and he's not drinking it, so it's like
it's a bracha latal.
It seems that way.
A tinnik drank from it. It's not a bracha latal. He's a giel lechinuch. It's not a bracha latal. It's for the tinnik.
An adult can't make a bracha for a tinnik.
Eichanami it's a shinoi, but this is an option. We have an option. We have an option.
Who said Chazal was masakin to make on Yom Kippur that?
Oh, so that's what the Goinim hold. The Goinim hold is taken no takana of course even on a Mila.
Right.
But you know what? The truth is, you could say, I don't know if it's good, but I would say that it's different. He won't be Asil Misrach because he'll remember it was a bris. A bris, you remember, it's a whole big deal. A baby, they cry and
okay, so but Taisa says
he's not going to say
Taisa says he'll remember.
Why? When he gets old, he'll also drink in a bris because he'll say, "Oh, the baby," and you cry.
No, but the druggle was only applied to.
But when he brings, in other words, is the thing that he's not going to. He's going to remember was an exception. It was an exception.
Okay, because he drank it and not the adult.
Yeah, we'll remember the whole storyline.
Okay, so Lamaisa, the Rashba, very interesting enough.
That's an interesting, all right.
The Rashba.
It's not teaching him to drink a Yom Kippur, but he'll get later on. He'll realize that no, in this situation you give it to a
special.
That's a very
because it's not kavua. It's not kavua. Lamaisa is like.
No, I'm saying not only it's not kavua.
Oh, the Shaila and Toisus of the Rashba is a very strong Shaila. Shaila of the Rashba and Toisus is a very strong Shaila. How does he deal with it? We'll talk about it soon. The Lmais is a tshuva of the Rashba. The Rashba wrote thousands of tshuvas. Besides with Chedushim and the whole Shas, he also wrote a lot of tshuvas.
All over the world.
So the tshuvas that the Rashba wrote, he has a tshuva where he's choizer, he changed from the way he wrote in Chedushim. He doesn't mention his Chedushim, but his Chiddush and Erev, in his Chiddushim on Erev, and he wrote, not like Toisus. You're not allowed to give a child to drink because of the Gemara, Kisusa B'karma we see. Even if it's not something that happens constantly, Chazal was still choishish. So even Bris Kippur is not such a common thing. It's still a chash, and you're not allowed to give the tinnik because also the misrach. Therefore, go like the goinim, don't bring any kais. However, there's a tshuva that Ashba regarding kiddush in the shul at the night in the minig Ashkenaz. The Ashba was not Ashkenazi, he was Svardi, but in those times, in the Gemara, the Gemara said that there was a takana in Gemara that you have to make kiddush in shul for the guests. Friday night in shul, you have to make kiddush after Aleinu, before Aleinu. The chazan picks up a kois and makes kiddush for the used to be guests. There's a guest house around the shul.
I saw it also.
A guest rooms around the shul.
I did.
And they used to pick up a kois and make a kiddush for the guests because the guests don't have wine. They're traveling. They're coming here to town.
Like the Farang Inn.
Right.
Shul was in the center.
Right. So the mice they were coming, they would need it, kiddush. So it was a takana chazal to provide for guests that people should make kiddush for them. L'maisa, those orchim were eating the sud over there, so it had kiddush makom suda. However, later on years, this concept of guests sleeping around the shul stopped in a lot of places. Most of the places, already from the times of Rishonim. So the Rash was a long tshuva to deal with how we still doing this minig. We're still doing this minig and make kiddush in shul. But no one's being yaitza with it. There's no guests. Everyone goes home and makes kiddush again. So we just said a bracha levatala. So what's happening here? So the Maisa, the Rashbas talks about in this tshuva whether or not you can give it to a cotton to drink.
Which is what the Ashkenaz did.
Giving it to kiddush to make kiddush.
What are they doing on Israel?
All the young Israel.
Oh, they do give it to a kid.
Oh, what's it based on? What's it based on, giving it to the tinnik? Giving it to the tinnik to drink should seemingly be problematic. Because, first of all, it happens every week.
Tadir.
It's tadir. So even Taisa should tell us it's asa. And because Taisa only wanted to be matter Bris Mila on Yom Kippur and Tisha B'Av because it's not tadir.
It's not regular.
Not regular. But this is regular, it should be also to give the child. Right. Furthermore, the Rashba for sure doesn't agree with this, because the Rashba shita is, even if it's not Tadir, just like we see by Kisusa B'Karma, Rav Mishashia happened to want to plant in some kilai, something supposed kilayim, and still in all, he didn't want to do it with a Yiddish child, because of the concern of us in the Mizrach, even though it's not Kavua. So even if it wouldn't be Kavua, the Kiddusha B'Beit Kinishta, the Kiddush in the Shul, should still be problematic to give it to the child. So the Rashba in his Tshuva explains how we are allowed to give it to the child. And it's not problematic. And we see from this Tshuva how he changed his mind from what he wrote in his Chidushim. However, the Rashba Be'emes, even though he changed his mind halacha, he doesn't really have an answer for his question. He remains with his kasha, his Chidushim. He doesn't understand how this fits with the Gemara Kisus B'Karma. Kisus B'Karma, it's clear, planting such a plant is not a common thing. It's still a little chazal asid. However, he still said l'poyel mutter. The minig is that we do give the child to drink the kiddush, and this is what the minig is, and that's it. The Gemara, he doesn't know what to do with the Gemara. Very interesting Rashba. He backs down. Let's take a look at this Rashba. His main thing is not talking about the Bris Yom Kippur. He's talking about the kiddush and shul, but he mentions shitas hatoisus in the middle that are mat to the Bris Yom Kippur. Well, hatimoy latinik. To give this kois of the kiddush a night in shul to the child, you could say the chol shata oisei the gadol, anything which is also for a gadol to drink. Aflatinik also be also to give to the child. Should also the misa because the child could think it's okay to do. Okay, he does man shmeirim like we see in the Gemara by Shechiyanu and Erevin that we don't give the cotton to drink the Shechiyanu on a kois, and we don't have a kois on Yom Kippur and give to the clinic. Ella, even though there's a svar to answer it, giving the child by kiddush, it seems more to matter, better to matter for the child. Chazal want l'choishiv for something which is kavua. Only something similar to Shechiyanu, which every year you do it like a Shechiyanu, there the Chazal were concerned. Such a not common thing like this to give to a child. Now they're giving the child every week in the young Gizels, right? But the Rashba's times, it wasn't. There was a lot of times guests. It wasn't always they had to give to the child. It's not kavua. The ashim kachinon. It's possible that we're going to make kiddush and we're not going to give the child to drink. You're going to ika orchin because maybe there'll be guests. We don't have to be concerned for him getting used to it. The French Rabbanim, the Bali HaToisus wrote this halacha that we learned earlier, Toisus, but Molas Atinik B'Yom Kippur Matayna Sibur, that they allowed the Mavarchem Akasib B'Chamer Yimah to make a bracha on the wine Ber Piagav and Matzmin Liyanuka, and you give it to the child. It's al derech the Bali HaToisus. I mean, the time is matter giving. But Mila and Yom Kippur and Tisha B'Av giving the kois. Al derech zeh the Rashba. I'll do by the kiddush on Leil Shabbos. Since a lot of times is guests, so it's not a milsa the kfur. We're always going to be giving it to the child. So therefore, matter. Remember, Rabbi say he argued with Tosfos in his Chidushim Eivin. Over here in the Tshuva, he's agreeing with Tosfos. However, look when he finishes off. Oh, wait, before he finishes off, he says, "Zeu shenagu." That's the minig. Tinoikis b'chol mokim litim kasek kedusha bekanishta. We always give to the child whenever there's no guests. We give it to the child to drink.
Why you call him?
The emes is that this is really not so. I'm not so comfortable with this. We have a pircha, we have a shayla, shlug up to this heter, based on the din of kisusa by Mesharish and Perak Toilim, the Gemara in Shabbos, that even a kisusa he didn't want to allow the child to plant. So the chor is such a not common thing. Still, we were choishish for us in the Misrach. The loud milsa the kvi, it's not a milsa the kvi kisusa. We say by kisusa. The Gemara asks, the Gemara answers, friku, tilmos and misra. Says Rash, these are old matters. It's an old kasha. I had this kasha a lot of years ago, but it's minig Yisrael to give them to drink by the Leil Shabbos, the Kiddush, and the Bris Mila Kippur is okay. Lamaisa, very interesting. The Alter Rebbe in Shulchan Aruch, he brings his whole Rashba down as an explanation why you're allowed to give the tinnik to drink Kiddush Leil Shabbos. It's not a Hilchos Kiddush. He brings by Dinei Chinuch of cotton. However, when it comes to Yom Kippur, a little bit later, a sif later, he says you're not allowed to give it to the cotton to drink. What's by a bris? By the bris.
Also, probably learn from this in Shabbos to not to do the Tinok Shabbos like Kos Shel Shabbos. The Rebbe say no to do it. So probably also it's connect.
So the Alter Rebbe, interesting, he takes half of the Rashba, doesn't take the other half. He takes half of the Rashba that he's the heter, that he's matter, the Lil Kiddush, the Lil Shabbos to give the Kiddush to the child. However, the fact that the Rashba mentioned in the middle, he compares his case to Tosfos, that's matter Mila on Yom Kippur, and Tisha B'Av to give to the child. That, when it comes to Yom Kippur, the Alter Rebbe writes, don't be matter, not mutter to give. It's not kavua. It seems like it's going back to the Rashba Chidushim that doesn't allow it because of Kisusa. So the Maisa is, the answer to this question is you have to look in Hilchos Yom Kippur. Hilchos Yom Kippur, the Alter Rebbe has a siman, Tafresh Chaf Aleph, where he gives 3 options what should be done with the kois on Yom Kippur. One of the options is to give it to the Tinnik, which is based on Tosfos. Tosfos Shita.
Not the Rachanim.
1 minute, we'll see. But one thing is to give to the Tinnik, meaning no, a Tinnik Shekir L'Chinuch, Chinuch Brachas, an older child, 7 years old, 6, 7, 8 years old, give it to a child to drink. He brings the option, he says, we should not be noig this way. But if someone does it, don't have to protest. They have what would be Seimachan, which is Tosfos and the Rashba the Tshuva, not the Rashba Kedushim, because he held it's no good. But Tosfos in Erevin, Tosfos in the Shabbos is the same thing, both places. And the Rashba, right? And the Rashba and the Tshuva here. So that's what he said, don't protest, but don't do it. However, Lamaisa Kiddush below Knesset, he says is good. Why does he say not to do it? Over there he explains, don't do it because Yom Kippur is Anush, is Minat Torah and Anush Karas. Yom Kippur is much more serious.
Can't learn there.
So it's not like the Rashba. The Rashba and the Tshuva is Mekel all situations. Even though he has his kasha from Kisusa, which he has no answer for, but he's Mekel even by Deraisa, even by Bris Mila Yom Kippur. But the Alter Rebbe himself, based on other Achrayim, wants to be split it in 2. In a case where it's a din derabanan, like Shabbos, the drinking before Kiddush, just the Issa derabanan, there you allow the child to do it when it's not kavua. However, Yom Kippur, even though it's not kavua, he's going to answer because we're dealing with an Issa Minat Torah. So that's the shit you shouldn't give it to a child. What should you do with the kois? What taka should you do with the kois for the Bris Mila on Yom Kippur? The Alter Rebbe offers 2 options. And he doesn't say who the halacha is like. And the 2 options are like this. One option is, don't make it on a kois at all. Like we saw the Goinim, the Rashba brought the Goinim, said, don't make it a kois, whatever, if you want, make it a hadas, but don't make it on a kois. That's one option. And the Mechaber, the Shulchan Aruch, the Rabbi Yosef Kairo and Shulchan Aruch paskins that way. You don't bring a kois. I don't know what it is by Svardish Brisim, but if you go like the Mechaber and Shulchan Aruch, you're not supposed to have a kois by Bris Mila in Yom Kippur. In Yom Kippur, we'll talk about Tisha B'Av in a minute. Tisha B'Av is the Rabbanah. It's not Minat Torah. So Yom Kippur, you did not bring a kois at all. And the second option, Alter Rebbe says is, he said not to give it to an older child, remember. The second option is to give to the Rach HaNimel to the baby.
But wait,
let the baby take a drink.
He's not in the chinuch. He's not shy of bracha.
Exactly.
It's still a bracha of
Exactly.
Very good kasha.
You didn't help anything.
Very good kasha. But before we get into how we deal with that,
Maybe on Yom Kippur the baby's on a higher level. He knows what's going on.
we'll give another. We have a very good kasha. But
How much the baby could drink?
So in the chazan makes
now, the mice like this. We always give the baby. We always give the baby to have a little sip by b'demai chai. The moil puts into his mouth, dips his finger into the becher, and gives to the tinnik. However, according to this option, after this, at the ending of the bracha, you're supposed to do it again and give the Rach HaNimel to drink, and that's what you should do. So the Kitzer, we have 3 options. One option is like the Goinim said, and the Mechaber passes that way. Don't give it all a kois, no kois at all. Another option is like Tosfos said. You can give it to a child, shehigia l'chinuch. Higia l'chinuch mitzvah brachas, but he's not higia l'chinuch tainis yet. So you don't have to mechanech him for tainis. So you can give it him to drink it. But the Alter Rebbe writes, don't rely on that. Don't do that because it's Yom Kippur min HaTorah. Also, the Misrach, the child could think by Chash min HaTorah, we're more concerned with the Chash of also the Misrach. And there's a third option, which the Ramah actually passes like this option. The Ramah says to give it to the baby. Now the kasha was dufrex. The big kasha is, what does it help giving to the child? It's like giving it to no one. It's just spilling it out. What are you doing? So in order to understand this, we'll have to go back a little bit. After this, we'll go to Ma'ir Mitzvah Shem. The Ma'isa Zoy. Why do we have to drink from a Kos Shel Beracha? Why b'chalal do we have to drink? By all our Kos Shel Berachas, let's just say a Ber Pri Agafen and not drink. Pashut, why you have to drink? It's be bracha l'vatala, right? Pashut. So according to the reason of bracha l'vatala, that's a mamash bracha l'vatala. Obviously, an adult or at least a tinnik shehigia l'chinuch bracha should be drinking from it. Otherwise, it's a bracha l'vatala. However, there's a second reason given why we drink. We have to take a sip from the Kos Shel Beracha, and it's not because it's a bracha l'vatala. And this is all brought in Simin Kuf Tzadik in Dinim of Kos Shel Beracha. Dinim Berachas Hamazon, in the beginning of Shulchan Aruch, talks about this. There are different reasons why we have to drink from Kos Shel Beracha, by a chuppah, by a milah, by kiddush, by avdallah, by all Kos Shel Berachas. Why do we have to drink? So the first reason, the ikar reason, is because it shouldn't be a bracha l'vatala. According to that reason, it's not going to help giving it to a child. However, the second reason is, really, it's not a bracha l'vatala. You know why? Bayer Pri Agafen doesn't mean you have to drink. Bayer Pri Agafen is a shir and a shevach that we were chazal or masakin HaKadosh Baruch Hu to thank him for the wine. You don't have to drink. You say it over the kos. If you stand thirsty and you want to drink, of course you have to make a Bayer Pri Agafen. Also, lahanis ma'elam has a bli bracha. However, when it comes to these dinim of Kos Shel Beracha, chazal or masakin the bracha Bayer Pri Agafen, a shir v'shevach to the Eibishter on the wine has nothing to do whether you drink it or not. So be'etzem, it's not a bracha l'vatala. Ayah b'zayv, it's not a bracha l'vatala. Why do we drink? Says this svara, the shita holds the reason why we drink is just in order it shouldn't seem like a bracha l'vatala, but it's not really a bracha l'vatala.
But if it's sure,
like this reason, you could give it to a rachanima, you can give it to the child. That's enough that it shouldn't seem like a bracha l'vatala, because it's not really a bracha l'vatala. So Lamaisa, the Mechaber Paskins don't bring a kos at all in Yom Kippur because of the Shaila of Chash of also the Misrach. The Ramah says, bring the kos. Don't do like Toisves to give it to a Tinnik Shigil L'Chinuch because of Chash of also the Misrach. We're dealing with Yom Kippur Shiz Deraisa. We're more Machmer. However, you should give it to the Rachanim, and that's the halacha. The halacha is like the Ramah, that you should give it to the baby. So second time after Bayichai, the moil gives to the baby. However,
How much you give?
a little bit, obviously. Just a little.
You want to give the eight.
To make a bracha, even a little bit, you can't give it. A sip, you have to make a bracha. You have to make a little bit. Now, Maisa,
It's first for bringing.
it's good anesthesia for the baby, more anesthesia.
Making drum.
Now, the Maisa,
Get the baby sick.
underage, might be arrested. But the Maisa Zoi, the Tisha B'Av, the Poskim say, Tisha B'Av is different. Tisha B'Av, the Mechaber says, you should bring a kos. Even I told you in Kippur not to, Tisha B'Av, you should bring a kos. Tisha B'Av is a lower level. It's not Mamash Min HaTorah. It's not Olosh Karis. Tisha B'Av, you can give the child. Bring a cup and give it to Tinnik Shehigia L'Chinuch. Higia L'Chinuch brachas, but he was not already at the stage of tightness, of fasting yet. So you should give it to the Tinnik. And the Ramah agrees. Give it to Tinnik. When it comes to Tisha B'Av, everyone agrees, give it to the Tinnik Shehigia L'Chinuch because only the Rabbanon. The whole shaila is when it comes to an Isim and HaTorah, even though it's not Kavua, there's a Svar to be Machmer. A Svar to be Machmer. Now, halacha l'maisa, this is how we fear zich, that in Yom Kippur we give to the baby, and Tisha B'Av you give to the child. But did he have my son drank my brother-in-law's bris, made a bris this Tisha B'Av. So my son was the one who is a giel l'chinuch, chinuch brachas. He was very excited about it. He was waiting already the day before, and he was waiting already. But l'maisa.
He was fasting.
Well, you wouldn't have to fast as long as they're.
But there's another thing you should bring up. The Mate Ephraim, and Hilchos Yom Kippur brings up Lachatchila on Yom Kippur, if the eldest, the lady who gave birth, is not fasting because she's too weak. Yom Kippur usually she fasts, but if she's weak, she's not fasting, she should drink it. Because that's l'chol hadayis. She's not a rachan nimol, the baby is a heter, because really, the ikar halacha is that the reason why we drink from the kos shel beracha is because if you don't drink, it's a bracha l'atala. So we really shouldn't want to rely on giving it to the child. It's only a b'diavad that we give it to the child. We have no choice. So to the baby. So therefore, you have a yod that's an adult. She's no concern. She knows that she's not going to come to do this again. She knows she's a gadol. For her, she's mamish yaitz. You're yaitz for all the sheets. L'maisa says Yom Kippur usually she does fast, so you can't really. The option's not so good. But Tisha B'av, I spoke to the Moyel and said Tisha B'av is easier. She's not usually fasting Tisha B'av. So Tisha B'av, she should lechatchila drink. That's b'amis. However, the Moyel told me you don't always have that the mother is standing there, and she has to bechaven to the bracha, very big often, and not make a hefsik. You don't always have all these things. So she has to be. She's not fasting, and she's there, and she's listening, and she's bechaven to the bracha, and she's not mafsik. Then you can give it to the yeladis. If not, you give it to on Tisha B'av. You give it to the cotton, and on Yom Kippur you give it to the baby. That's the law. Lamaisa has two moilim. One moil told me that he gives it to the baby when the eldest is fasting. Another moil told me no, he gives it to a child even on Yom Kippur. So the Ikar halacha in Shulchan Aruch is not that way. I don't say names, but it's not that way. But Lamaisa he has who to rely upon. Yeah. Right? He has Toisvis. And the Rashba and his Tshuva, not his Kedushim, who hold that even in Yom Kippur, since it's not Kavua, we're not Choshish for Chashashos and Misrach, and the Lavush writes, and the Alter Rebbe quotes that Lavush is in Kippur, that you're not Moicha, those people have that minig. The Alter Rebbe says there is such a minig. I don't know what our minig is, so maybe that Moil is doing something that's the minig. If he has maybe Masorah, the Alter Rebbe clearly says there's 3 minhagim in Klal Yisrael. A minig not to bring a cup at all. There's a minig to bring the cup and give it to a baby, and there's a minig to bring the cup and give it to the cotton. But the Alter Rebbe himself says not to be noyig that third minig of giving it to the cotton, but not to be moicha. So if someone has that minig, that's the minig of that mokim, minig ha-mokim. I asked 2 L'Bahavit Shemoylim, and each one gave me a different answer. So I don't know what the minig is. You could say if there's a minig or not. If there's no minig, l'chora we should follow. If we have no clear minig, l'chora we should follow the Shulchan Aruch. And the Ramah, it's the Ramah, not without the Rebbe, it's the Ramah, and Shulchan Aruch, which clearly says you should give it to the baby. So that's the Ikar halach.
That's the question.
If someone says he has a minig, he heard from other Mo'ilim in this kach v'kach, we say that he has a minig of Masorah, Eilim chizba minig. Eilim chizba minig. So option 1 will be to try to get the Yeledis to do it. If it's possible, she's not fasting and she's nearby, no hefsek, and she's mechaven. If not, option 2 on Yom Kippur is rachanimol, and option 2 on Tisha B'av is to give to the cotton shigia l'chinuch.
Somebody is sick on Yom Kippur and the doctor told him he must eat. Is he making kiddush?
Yeah.
That's a whole nother shit.
Now let's say 3 people are in the same hospital ward. Yeah. They were just in Hurricane Irma.
No, he does not make kiddush. There's no kiddush? No kiddush in Kippur, but he has to mention Yalav V'Yava.
3 people make a zimmer? 3 people make a zimmer? 3 people were in Hurricane Irma, and then they didn't eat for a week, and now they're eating on Yom Kippur. They're going to die. Did they make a zimmer?
Listen, you don't. It's not so right. I'm saying you can have here also 3 older people together in a place, or 3 sick people. It can happen that a nursing home, old age home, 3 people together. It's not.
So
it's
just like this,
that
I don't understand. Why don't we say just like there's no?
There should be a birchas hazimon. There probably should be birchas hazimon. Just like you have to make hazan, you have to make Yalav V'Yava, you have to make a birchas hazimon.
But there's no kos when they do it. I bet you.
No.
So why is it any different than like Bris Mila? When you're doing...
First of all, people don't do always kos when they do birchas hazimon.
But you should.
In the morning.
You should. You're supposed to. You're supposed to.
For breakfast.
But Zman Chazal, by the way, there was a shita in Rishayim that you have to, every single private person, just like you make Kiddush and Havdalah, no one's there, you're by yourself, you got to make it in a kos.
Right.
You bench, you have to make it in a kos, even a yachid. Even a yachid.
That's what I'm saying.
We don't do that. We don't do that by 3 people. But to do it by a Yachid, it's not our
Okay, but I'm just saying, but you see that you don't make Kiddush with a kais if you have to eat on Yom Kippur, and certainly you don't make a kais when you make a zimun in the stomach. If you don't make a madach, if you don't make by Kiddush, then you don't make a zimun either. Bazoi, why don't you say, just like Yom Kippur is different, there's no kais, so why buy a bris? No kais, why shouldn't it be any different? A bris, just like eating a suda, there's no Kiddush, by a bris should be the zelbazach.
You could do it on the hot
I'll tell you, Kiddush, now the Rebbe says by Kiddush, the reason why we don't do Kiddush is because Chazal were never masakin a Kiddush in Kippur. They never created a Kiddush. You can't create on your own. You can't create a takana which doesn't exist. They never were masakin a takana.
But maybe on a bris they would never second a kais on a bris on Yom Kippur. It's an andere mitzias.
By Mila,
Bris Yom
in a
Kippur.
Chanami.
Bris Yom Kippur.
It's not clear. We know clear in Shas, Chazal, we have no nusach HaKiddush in Kippur, right? We're not supposed to make Kiddush in Kippur, but by the bris, that's in the Chanami, it's not clear in Shas. Machlekes, the Go'oinim and the Rashba and Chedushim say, you're right. And the Mechaber passing that way, don't bring a kais. There's no such thing as a kais in Bris Mila.
People used to get
It's not as man for a kais. It's not as man for the kais. But the Ramah says, give it to the baby.
In the other hand, people used to get married on Kalel Shabbos, on Shabbos, right?
No. They got married Erev Shabbos, but the Suda was Lel Shabbos.
Oh, but the chuppah was right.
But your Mechaber, one time the Ramah had a story.
Oh.
The Ramah had a story where there was a big fight between the two sides over money issues. Erev Shabbos over there.
He should make them.
And they were fighting with the Chassan and Kala. And it went along, or the party, whatever, and it went along, the Chassan wanted a higher nadin, a bigger dowry. And they went into Shabbos. And now it's Shabbos already. And it went late into the night. And then finally the Ramah got them to agree. They got them to agree to get married. The Ramah went ahead and made a chuppah and a kiddushin on Shabbos, which is also pi halacha.
Oh, really?
It's Kenyan.
Also the Kenyan, also midrabanan, but it's also to make it. Clear isser, no heter.
Yeah.
How did he do it?
So the Ramah wrote a tshuva that he hears such noise and waves about what he did. Mamish, he became reformed, right? He went and made a chuppah on Shabbos. Chman al-Tzlan. So the Ramah wrote a whole tshuva to explain himself. So it's only the Ramah who could do this, but the Ramah went and said that it was such a shas tzchak. He knew that if he wouldn't have made the Kedusha right now, it's never going to happen. It's over with. Once they leave this room, he's not standing there anymore, it's finished. They're not coming back to the table again. So he made the hachlota.
You see that?
Now he made a cheshbin, he has a whole pilpul. It's not, I'm giving you just over the bottom line.
That's why you never push off a house.
But he said, if it's a pirut zugis, it's Issa D'Rabbanan, and they're not going to get married again. And he has different ways how he works around it. He explains the whole shasha, making the king in, and malicious. He went and made the